back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, it's been a minute, but I'm back with SBFBO reviews, so let's get started. This one is for a book called Flight of the Scions, and I read this as a judge, as I do for all the books. But unfortunately I didn't finish this one, and I'll tell you why. I ended up putting it down at about the 20% mark because it just was not gelling with me, unfortunately. I really wanted to finish as much of the books as possible this year and really give them a chance, but I could tell really quite early on that this one was not for me. It's about a main character who I really disliked, which is always a bit of a tricky one. I think to get a dislikable main character that you do still want to read about is hard, but I'm willing to kind of overlook that if the story and the world and the magic is interesting to me. Unfortunately, I didn't have any of those things be that interesting to me in this world. So let's talk a little bit about the setup and then why I DNF'd it. We are following a young girl who is called Kaneko, and she is the daughter of a mage knight. Now, she has great expectations placed upon her for being his daughter and also for the heritage of her mother's side. She's sort of like half one culture and half another culture, and she's looked down on by a lot of people because of this. However, she still has grand expectations placed on her from her father's side. They're all expecting her magic to be incredibly powerful, particularly because she is aging up and her magic hasn't appeared yet, and usually the longer that the magic waits to show itself, the more potent it is. And so I think she's about 15 when we are reading the beginning of this book, and she still hasn't got any magic. They've done some testing, and she's just received a letter at the very start of this story telling her that actually she doesn't have a grand magical gift. She actually has no magic whatsoever. And so obviously she and her family are very disappointed, and her life takes a drastic turn from the direction she thought it was going to go in. She ends up having to go on this journey because she is a bit of a disgrace to her father, not only for not having magic, but also for just generally kind of trying to find a new way in life. She starts tinkering around, doing kind of engineering. It goes a bit wrong, and she is sent away on this sort of journey, shall we say, to discover herself, to try and contribute to her people on her mother's side rather than her father's. Now, I didn't like her from the beginning, as I said. She wasn't really a character that I could particularly sympathise with or engage with. She just didn't feel that relatable or that interesting to me. So I had a hard time with that anyway. But as the story goes on, she does some pretty questionable things. She meets some other characters who are supposed to come on the journey with her, and one of the things that she does is just to insult them and judge them very much based on looks and appearance, and just generally be incredibly rude to them. And I found that really hard to read because I just felt like it was quite she was quite a toxic character, really. And I'm sure that the purpose of the book is for her to learn and to grow and to develop, because the mentor character who's with her does sort of reprimand her for these things. I just felt like it wasn't handled that well overall, and I didn't really enjoy the direction the story was going. I didn't love that it is all about her, and she's a very entitled character. She thinks that even though she doesn't have magic, she thinks she's kind of the center of this journey, when there are two others coming with her, and I just didn't like her. And I think that's really the problem at the end of it all, is that I just didn't think she was an engaging, unlikable character. She just felt like quite a frustrating character to me. And it was also quite clear to me at this point, at about the 20% mark where this was kicking off, that not only did I not like the story, but also it really wasn't at a level where I could see it becoming a semi-finalist for my batch. So unfortunately, I did decide 20% was as far as I was willing to go to before I just decided it was not for me. I wasn't enjoying reading it, and there was not much point in continuing. I haven't given a rating for this because I don't rate books that I don't finish. I feel that would be unfair in case there is a magic turnaround point where it suddenly gets great. But I personally can't say that I'd recommend this one, unfortunately. For me, it just didn't feel like it was engaging enough. I didn't enjoy the characters. I didn't feel like the world was that new or different. And personally, there wasn't a lot that was gripping onto me with this book. So I can't really recommend it. That is not to say that you won't enjoy it. Please do feel free to read the Goodreads listing for this and see if it is something that sounds more like your thing. That's all for this one. Let me know in the comments whether it sounds like your thing or not. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you with another SPFBO review very soon. Bye all!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.